I had a conversation on Facebook. I write a Twitter thread every day, as you know, Ralph, and I post it to all my socials. So go follow me on Twitter if you want my threads. But I had a thread that resulted in a conversation about how to market for penalized products or services. So if there's something Google and Facebook don't want you advertising for, and there's a lot of these things, the obvious ones are things like, like hemp or CBD, or when we're being restricted, they're opening them up a little bit more now. But I won't use too many examples because I don't want to encourage people to do nefarious things. But if there's something Google doesn't want you to market for, or Facebook doesn't want you to market for, the trick, and most dirty marketers know this trick, but a lot of good people don't. So I'm going to let the cat out of the bag for the good folks. The trick is to speak to the pain point without speaking to the solution, because it's not the pain that's being what would you say, restricted. It's the solution specifically that's being restricted. And you do that with content. And so you have really high value content, speak to the pain point using content, go out into Google and Facebook, and then you're just running either like a max clicks or max view campaign, which are the cheapest campaigns you can possibly run. Right. But what's nice about it is nobody who clicks on that content is going to be unqualified, right? Because why would you be interested except that you're experiencing this pain point? Right. Once they've landed on the page, then you use all the naughty remarketing tools, things that'll let you, like AdRoll will let you remarket anything. They do not care. Sure. They're soulless and godless over there. And so now you can say like, hey, buy my crystal that cures cancer, and nobody's going to have any compliance issues or whatever requirements. So, use that with great power comes great responsibility, let's say. But if you did want to market something that for whatever reason you're not allowed to market, that's the way to do it.
It's very, very top of funnel content.
Very top of funnel.
Let's say, for you have a solution for rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah.
Like your ads can't be about like your cure or any claims, but you can talk quite a bit about rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah. Well, what I would do is, and this is my favorite title of all time, is this the X number of things you don't know about this. Mm-hmm. So the 7 things you don't know about credit repair. Mm-hmm. Or the 9 things you didn't know about arthritis. Because if I have arthritis and there's 9 things I don't know about arthritis, like I am going to have to click on that. Now, you better make sure you're actually putting things in front of me that I don't know. But yeah, it's very, very top of funnel.
And it's also a way to expand the market too. Because you're also audience, 100%. Yeah, you're building the audience, especially if it's video content. This goes back, this is very, very smart, because I think a lot of folks, and we'll get into this today, like you're in this website conversion sort of battle with everybody else. You're in the battle on Google search for the high intent keywords, and those CPCs aren't coming down anytime soon. The more competition that there is, the higher the CPCs are going to be, no matter how great your ads are. But the point is that traffic, that is the bloody red ocean of digital marketing, where you sort of elevate yourself and also become an authority in the space, but not provide necessarily the solution, is by doing what you're talking about here too. So this isn't just for products where, you might be a little sketchy, but I think it's an overall strategy. We certainly see that with, we have 3 proposals right now with customers that are like, hey, we've reached 60 million, 35 million, 25 million in revenue. And like, we can't scale anymore. Like, what do we do? I'm like, this is actually part of the strategy. So we talked about this, in a couple of episodes prior, but especially if you're in those markets, like there's a couple of our customers that are in those markets where claims in that particular space, I'm not going to name any names here, are really taboo. Like in the male enhancement space, for example, like there is a market, you can get around it with this type of stuff, because if I'm looking at 7 ways that is 7 things I didn't know about erectile dysfunction, and I'm watching that video, or I'm reading that post, I'm not doing it because I got a friend that has that problem, but I will claim that
academic curiosity.
I don't know what the hell. But no, absolutely. You're creating the market in such a way, and then you can use other methodologies. Like we love AdRoll. We use AdRoll all the time.
Yeah.
Tiny spend. Yeah, dirty little tricks of AdRoll. So that great strategy there. But I think it's part of an overall strategy. So if you're stuck at scale, or you have one of those products and you've got a legitimate Let's not talk about like the really scumbag products,
Right.
plenty of which I used to peddle way back in the affiliate days. Lots of them actually, when you could actually talk to this on the platforms and not get banned, even though I think I had 7 Google account bans at one point in time. Kasim, airing out my dirty laundry.
It's a record, Ralph. Good for you.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I can barely get into our ACC right now. I have to use like a completely different email. Point is that it's a great strategy for that if you have a good solution. Let's talk about that. But also, it's a way to scale and build brand, expand market, which is what we're actually going to be talking about here today, to a certain degree.
Nice.
Is
an excellent segue.
A segue from a segue is that right now, it's a great period of time for me because I'm doing something, within the organization that I always love to do. It's a little bit overwhelming, but I'm handling a lot of the initial discovery calls for a lot of businesses. So this is, here we are running, this show here, and you are running a business. I'm running a business. Like, we're doing a lot of other things, but we know like what is happening in the market. To hear it specifically and to see it specifically of what the big problems are, and then to sort of layer this in as this is a trend I now see. That's what we're going to be talking about here today. It's the thing that we used to talk about way back at the beginning of this podcast on levels of traffic. And I'm seeing it as a huge problem right now. It's probably something that your media buying team or maybe your agency right now is not doing. And it's an easy way to get a 20, 30% lift on your ads almost immediately.
I'm in a mastermind called War Room. The War Room Mastermind. It's Ryan Dice, Roland Frazier, Perry Belcher, Richard Lindner. The digital marketer guys, basically, and it's super expensive. It's like $35,000 a year or something. And I wanted to do it forever, but I was massively gun shy and also a little cheap. And then my buddy